And Abby, thank you too for being such a good hostess and having such a beautiful space and doing these artist talks. I don't know if a lot of galleries do this, but it's really cool. So thank you so much. Let's see, I'm used to talking to a bunch of little kids all day, so you guys are all a lot taller. Yeah, if I get nervous, just shrink down to a 6-year-old size, and then I'll be good. So it's nice having you guys here as adults. I'm a Colorado Springs native. Do we have any other natives? Yeah? Not the only one. It's nice to meet you tonight. Let's see. As a kid, I really started to develop as an artist. I have kind of this singular memory of myself as like a 9 or 10-year-old sitting at the dining room table with colored pencils and a big piece of paper and a National Geographic. And I just remember sitting down and wanting to find an image to copy. And so I found this picture of this big green python, and I just copied it as close as I could. And just kind of looking for all those details and trying to make it as photorealistic as you can as a little kid was something that made me feel like an artist as a little child. I also have really supportive parents. My dad was always buying me the best art supplies for birthdays and Christmases, so that always felt like a big boost of support. My mom is also an artist, and so I kind of have a built-in critique session with her, just as a mom. So there's really good advice from her. I've got my family that is standing outside the door, my husband who helps put wires on things and has never limited my art supply budget, so thank you for that. That alone is a big support feeling, and I really appreciate that from him. And my kids always tell me I'm the best artist in the world, so between all of those things, what else could I ask for? Yeah, great kid. So after elementary age, moving into high school, I also had a really good support system there. One of my family friends was my art teacher, so I grew up with his kids. We went to school together, we went to church together, we camped together. So to have their dad as my art teacher was pretty special and unique. And he was really supportive and really pushed me to kind of stretch myself and grow as an artist. And I think probably because of him, I went to school for my bachelor's in fine arts as well. So I went to Adams State College after high school for about a year, and then I moved back up to UCCS to finish that up. I think I took about every painting class that they offer, and I kind of just lived in that studio, and that just was like the dream situation. Everything about it I loved. We worked in oils mostly. All of this work here is acrylic. So I made a switch from oils to acrylics when I had kids because oils are messy and smelly. So we made a change. Still a little messy and smelly, but now I do it in the garage and it's not so bad. So in college, we focused a lot on technique and doing things by the books and doing things a certain way, which always felt a little restrictive to me. So I've always kind of felt like trying to find this balance between knowing all the rules of art, and knowing all the elements and all the specific things that go into making a good piece of art, and balancing that with just having some freedom. So this exhibit is called Freeform. It's art that is not created according to a specific standard or convention. So when I think of a definition like that, I think of artists like Mark Rothko, and I think of William de Kooning, him especially, just really big gestural strokes and focusing on mark making and being really spontaneous. That's a style of art that kind of developed in New York in like the 40s and 50s. And it was certainly not conventional at that time. So I liked taking that idea and focusing on the intention behind why they did that, really focusing on like the emotive qualities. So with this series, I wanted to focus on that style and take inspiration from music specifically. So in this piece up here, this one's a little bit older, it's maybe like a year old. The other ones are pretty recent. This one was based off of a specific song called The Sea and Sinbad's Ship, which is a symphony piece. And it's really marked by a lot of like sinuous cellos and violin music. But then you kind of start getting all these horns and trumpets involved, and it gets a lot darker and a little more intense. So when I approached this painting, I didn't want to go in thinking about a real solid plan. I wanted it to be really intuitive. So I let the music play, got the paints out, and just kind of let the music speak through me as I created. I don't know how many times I listened to the song, a lot of times, and a lot of drawing sessions in between, but I feel like it's a good reflection of that piece of music. The others in this series have a similar feel to them, very similar color palettes. These weren't specific musical pieces like this one was. It was more of a playlist that had a certain feel to it, and I just kept listening to that as I worked. And I really wanted to just kind of strip things down to the bare essentials like line, color, texture. I really wanted to focus on those few elements and just let those create a composition as I listened to the music. So that's kind of where we're at with these ones. A big thing for me right now, I'm wanting to make a shift from, I usually have some type of texture in there. A lot of it is implied texture. This one right behind you, actually, we can kind of see where there's a little bit of a resist in the paint here, kind of a speckled bit to it. And that's more of an implied texture that I've worked with for a long time. But I'm really wanting to make a shift where there's actual like tactile quality to it. So I'm trying to experiment with that some more. This series as a whole felt like a shift in that direction. I'm just experimenting and trying new things as textural elements in these pieces.